What's up guys, Cameron Foose here with Iconic. Today, we're gonna discuss a super important topic, something I get asked all the time. Should you or shouldn't you go to college? Let's break it down. All right, so first of all, guys, I just wanna kind of discuss my personal story. I am a college dropout. But, a lot of people think I try to promote that, but I don't at all. So a lot of it, I think, is situational for a lot of people. It really depends on what you want to do, where you're at in college. Is it serving you? You got to have a reason to drop out. So I'm just going to discuss why I dropped out. So my dream was always to be a day trader. Since basically I was actually going to school to become a stockbroker, but at the time, I didn't really know what a stockbroker was. A stockbroker, basically all they do is they're salesmen. They're trying to get people to invest money with them to get money into the firm so that they can take a commission from their clients. And that's basically how stockbrokers work. And at the end of the day, you're just a salesman. I wouldn't say I am a salesman. I don't think I wanted to be a salesman. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to make money in the stock market and actually be a trader. So while I was in college, I went to Oregon State. My sophomore year, I decided that I wanted to learn how to start making money in stocks. So I sold my BMW M3 and used that money to start learning how to day trade. I became a member of a website called 3stocksonfire.com. Basically just dove in headfirst, learned as much as I possibly could, a lot of times instead of going to class. And after about a year, I really started getting the knack for trading stocks. And I kind of thought about so this company 3 Stocks on Fire was charging for their service. So I got to the point where I was like, maybe I could do this. And I was still only about 20 at this time. And so in 2006, I started my own blog, which was called thetechnicaltrader.net. It no longer exists. And I just started blogging my experience, blogging what I thought about certain stocks. I did that for free for 2 years. Basically, I had a side hustle in college, but I wasn't making any money with that side hustle. It was just a blog where I was sharing my ideas on day trading, but I was giving away free value and building up my reputation over the course of those 2 years in college. And by my senior year, I had a pretty big reputation, and I decided, am I gonna continue going to college or should I turn this into a business? So I decided to, basically, I left Oregon State and went to Boise State where I was gonna finish up my last actually 5th year senior of college. But before I actually attended my last year of college, I figured I'm gonna see if this business works. So I decided to give it a trial and see if people would actually sign up for my service, for my business, before I actually dropped out of college. And when I did that, I made $30,000 in a month from people being like, yeah, I wanna continue knowing what you're talking about on your blog. So I was pretty mind blown when that happened and actually had people paying to listen to what I had to say in the stock market. So I didn't necessarily just be like, oh, screw it, I'm gonna drop out because school sucks, okay? I had a game plan. I had been side hustling for 2 years trying to make this work and build it into a business. So I never condone anybody to just drop out of school for no reason. You have to have a valid reason to do so. You have to be working on something while you're in college, and once that looks like it's working, then you can make the decision to drop out of college. I never think you should give up your day job or drop out of school and leave that stability for something that's super risky and you don't know the outcome for, okay? You want a side hustle, show proof of concept, show that it's working, and then you can potentially drop out. So that's just my personal story as a college dropout. But obviously you guys are looking at this to see what my advice is for you. A lot of it's situational. So I wanna break it down why you should go and why you shouldn't go and kind of go over some of the reasons.
Reason number 1, you can be Norbert.
You can be Norbert. Yo, guys, quick interruption here. I just wanted to tell you guys we have a free watch list for you guys to get tomorrow's best stock picks today. Links below, and you'll get our free watch list 5 days a week with our personal top stocks. Back to the podcast. All right, so I want to talk about some of the reasons why you should go to college. And the first one would be because you have no idea what you want to do with your life and you want to kind of go on some self-discovery and figure it out. And college is a great place to kind of do that as well, okay? So there's one option where you can just skip college in general, but at the same time, you have no idea what you want to do. So what's going to happen in that case and in that situation? You're probably going to go get yourself a shitty job. And if you're in a shitty job, what happens to your network? You're around a bunch of people who also have this shitty job, so you have a shitty network. So I don't typically recommend anybody that doesn't know what they want to do at all just to not go to college, because you're probably going to go get yourself a shitty job, which then in turn is a shitty network of people and people who aren't there to lift you up and inspire you. So college is a great place to not only lift you up spiritually, because you're going to meet a bunch of really cool people, but you might meet people that might inspire you that also have big dreams and big ambitions to get yourself to the next step where you might find inspiration to find something that you might actually want to do. So I would definitely recommend going to college if you have absolutely no idea what you want to do with your life, because you can build a network of other people that you might meet in college to build up more inspiration. Reason number two, it's fun. Okay, for me personally, probably the only thing I learned in college was how to become a better alcoholic or a more functioning alcoholic. Okay, so really it's just fun. It's basically like a 4-year vacation where you can go screw off. You're finally out of your house. You don't have any responsibilities per se. For the most part, school is very easy. You just go have fun. And on top of that, there's girls. If you're a girl, there's guys. Okay, so it's a great place to network with significant others and maybe have great relationships, okay? Or just have fun. If you want to sleep around, it's a great time to go experiment, explore with yourself, find out the kind of people you like to hang out with. So I definitely recommend going to college because it's fun. Next up is if you're looking for something in a very specialized profession that you can't do anywhere else, okay? This could be something to be as a doctor or a lawyer, okay? You have to go get your doctorate, you have to get your PhD, you have to get your whatever, I don't even know what you call a lawyer. You know what lawyer school is called? The bar. I think that's part of school. So if you're going down something really specialized, school is definitely a way to go, because you have to have those credentials. You have to have, also it helps whatever school you go to get a job as a better doctor or as a better lawyer. So if you're looking for something super specialized, you do need to go to school. Last and not least, if you want to become a professional athlete, obviously the best route to becoming a professional athlete is if you're going to school and going to a school that has a great team, and basically you're building a resume to get recruited by a professional sports team. So those are kind of the only reasons I think you should go to school. Other than that, I think it's time to really go into why you shouldn't, because what's happening in today's world is completely different than what's been happening over the last 100 years. All right, so why you shouldn't go to school. These are kind of the things that are more exciting to me and maybe more exciting to you, especially with the way that life and technology is happening. You know, the financial school system is so fucked. It's such a corrupt business, but education is big, okay? So there is a lot of money that people are making. And for one, so the number one reason why you shouldn't go to school is it's extremely costly to learn some generic information, okay? When you're going to college, they require that you take elective classes. They require you to take a bunch of bullshit classes that you have to pay for no fucking reason. You don't get any value out of it. It's literally some stupid teacher that has a shitty job at regurgitating some sort of information that you have no interest in, all for the fact of, because it's basically an upsell. A better way for them to make more money because they're requiring you to take a bunch of classes for no reason. So it's an extremely expensive way to learn very generic information that you don't need to know. And then on top of that, if you wanted to know, you could go to Google and find it out for yourself. On top of that, I just want to give an example of a specialization route that I know one of my friends had taken in college. I believe they spent like over $250,000 to become a pharmacist. And while they did get a very good job making six figures, I think about 125K a year at the age of 24, which is amazing. You know, basically fresh out of college, you become a pharmacist for, say, CVS, and you become a pharmacist manager. Her school repayment debt bills were about $2,000 per month. And that's for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, something like that. So even if you get a great job right out of college, if you spend $250K to get that, you are already starting off in this huge amount of debt. And a $2,000 bill per month, that's like driving a Lamborghini per month, but you're actually paying back a school system that may have taken you a very long time to get that degree. You gotta get your bachelor's, maybe your master's, maybe even your PhD to get that. So even for specializations, you're starting off in this huge amount of debt, so it's definitely, you know, not the greatest way to start your life and career. Reason number two why you shouldn't go to college, and that is to please somebody else, okay? You know, I know this is obviously something very difficult for a lot of people. You know, I think my parents were pretty lenient. They didn't care that I dropped out of school because I was making money, for one, and they saw how much passion I had for the stock market and how much I was actually hustling for that while I was actually in school. But that was after the fact. I already went to school for 4 years. I dropped out my senior year, so I wasted, you know, not a whole lot, but $20,000 to go to 4 years of school at Oregon State. I already paid it off immediately. But you should never go to school just because your parents want you to, okay? Or because somebody else thinks you should, okay? You should go to school because you want to, or because, like I said in the beginning, you're looking to build your network in a better way, rather than going to a shitty job with a network of shitty people at this shitty job. So I don't think you should ever do something or sacrifice your own well-being to boost up somebody else's well-being, is basically what I'm trying to say. So if you're only going to school because your parents, obviously you need to really think about it. Is that worth it? Is this what your path is? Is this what you want to do? Obviously you need an alternative. You need to explain to them, I don't want to go to school because of this reason. Here's why, and here's how I'm going to do it. So you need to have a plan, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be financially supported by your parents, and if you don't go to college, they're going to threaten you, be like, I'm going to cut you off, you're done, you're on your own, and you're like, shit, I can't even go to school, I got to go get this shitty job where I'm going to be networking with shitty humans. So it's something you got to figure out, and you kind of come up with a game plan if you're not going to go to school about exactly how you're going to prove to your parents that it's not the right path for you, and how you're going to excel in life without school. Reason number three why you shouldn't go to college. This is definitely a very interesting topic that's going to segue into my next topic, but it's the fact that teachers, for the most part, are not practicing what they're teaching. They're regurgitating information out of a book that was written by somebody else, probably somebody that's not actually practicing what they're doing either, okay? If you want to learn how to run an online business and you're in a class with a teacher that's never ran an online business and they're just regurgitating information, that's a little odd. That's not really, doesn't seem like a practical way to learn something. You're not actually learning from the experts. So there's obviously a lot of great professors out there that you can learn a lot of stuff from. I'm not dogging on professors, but I'm just saying the way that the educational system is set up, it's set up for a bunch of people to regurgitate information for them to create a worker in the system of the corporate world. So it's definitely a flawed system that's continuing to change. You know, Gary Vee was just saying this on a podcast the other day, and he's like, business teachers are writing books on how to run a business, yet they've never ran a business. It just doesn't make sense. And it really doesn't. And so it's kind of crazy that that's the way the educational system is set up, and it's continually changing. If they don't adapt, colleges are going to continually get closer and closer to implode on themselves, because what I'm talking about, number 4, is that you can learn practical skills today for a much cheaper cost and actually learn from the expert, okay? So while I was in college, I was learning from people who I guess you could say on some levels I didn't respect because I didn't want to be in their shoes. So it's hard for me personally to take advice from somebody if I don't respect their position in life. Obviously I can respect their values, their morals, their kindness, but if they're trying to give me advice on how to run a business and I see that they're just a college professor and they're not running a business successfully, why would I want to take advice from them? It just really doesn't make sense. So in today's world, you can actually find an expert in just about any genre or skill that you want to learn and learn that skill from the actual expert from an online course for as little as $50, upwards of $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, however much that expert is charging on how to actually be an expert in that skill. And that's what I did. I dropped out of school to basically, in a sense, start my own college on how to day trade the stock market. And I've been doing this for almost 14 years now. So I run a company where I teach people how to day trade the stock market. And that's actually what I've been doing, day trading the stock market. Okay, and I also have another teacher who also day trades the stock market and helps teaches others as well. And that's where society is kind of going. It's going into an online way of teaching and a way of schools, but it's not through a traditional system, okay? My course is 90 days. It's not 4 years, it's not 8 years, and it's $2,000, okay? It's not $250,000, and at the end of it, you can be able to practically start making money at the end. And you can do this with almost any subject out there, okay? Through Iconic, we have other schools in the works, whether it be Iconic Marketing, Iconic Creator School, how to create videos, Iconic Body, how to get the body of your dreams, and we're doing a whole bunch of other stuff. We're basically creating our own school for all the things that I find passion in life. And it's gonna be so much cheaper and takes so much less time than college. Like I said in the beginning, college, you're paying for so much generic bullshit that you don't need to learn because they're just trying to squeeze as much money out of you as possible. So that's kind of what's so crazy about just the whole system. It's so fucked the way it is, and how much they are charging is a joke. People are becoming more and more aware of that, and it's gonna close down, and it's probably gonna close down within the next 10 years unless they really change. My closing thoughts. Basically, it's a tough decision that a lot of you are probably either in school or you're wondering if you should go. And school is a great place to network, great place to meet people, great place to party. Again, the only thing that I learned in school was how to become a better functioning alcoholic. That's all I did in school, was party. So you really got to put it in perspective of what do you want out of school? How is it going to serve you in life? Are you trying to become a professional athlete? Go to school. Do you want to become a doctor? Go to school. Do you want to become a lawyer? Go to school. Do you have no idea what you want to do in your life, but you really don't want to go get a shitty job and go down a shitty pathway of shitty people? Go to school, okay? That's probably it's gonna help you find what you want, okay? But if you want to learn practical skills from experts today and do it in a couple weeks to a couple months and actually start making money at the end of that for a much lower cost, there's so many different skills you can learn, and it's all in the online realm world, such as what I do with my businesses, and that's definitely something you should consider either while you're going to school or as a college dropout. There's even high school dropouts that are making money doing this stuff, such as online marketing, social media management, okay? You don't have to go to school to learn any of that. You can learn all these practical skills online. So that's it today, guys. Those are my closing thoughts about college. It's really situational for a lot of you guys. Hope you learned something. Hopefully I gave you some insight, provided some value, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.